2024.
Happy New Year, Scorpio.
We're waiting for the crystal ball to drop in Cassadaga.
Cassadaga. Yes.
We did a little road trip to Cassadaga.
Oh, by the way, welcome, Scorpio, to your January reading. I'm Ava.
And I am Trudy, and this is Virtual Tarot.
Yes, it is.
So, we did a little road trip to Cassadaga. We were actually planning for this special reading, which is the New Year's reading for Scorpio to go to Key West. However,
we missed the boat.
We missed the boat, literally.
Yes, literally, we missed the boat. So
yes.
We're here instead, which is even more interesting, I think.
Yeah, we're really actually glad we missed the boat.
Actually, it's really interesting how spirit works. Because this is where we should have come in the first place.
I think so, yeah. So it worked out really well. So we are in Cassadaga.
Yes.
You can see a little bit about that.
Yeah. Watch the video on this historic little town that weaves together the suffragette movement, the movement where we try to get our voting rights, our property ownership rights.
Our rights to speak in public.
Yes. And the spiritual movement that brought from the East all the philosophical ideas, the mystical ideas, the esoteric ideas, and weave them into the Western philosophies.
Right. Well, think about it. We couldn't even do this if it weren't for the suffragettes.
We couldn't.
Because women couldn't speak in public.
Right.
Or, hold podium.
No, they couldn't.
Until after that movement. And that was when we sort of earned the right to vote, the right to speak our mind, the right to own our own property, the right to...
You know what I just...
kick them to the curb.
There are a lot of haunted or theoretical haunted homes here. I just saw somebody behind the camera and there's nobody there.
You did?
I just did. And they moved the mic.
That's so cool.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. So they do have orb tours here.
They do.
And they say there's a lot of activity. Well, you just saw that on camera. Wow.
Yeah.
I kind of saw it too,
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, did you see the movement?
I did.
Whoa.
So that said, here we are in Cassadaga, having experiences on camera. And it's really beautiful.
Somebody's in here with us besides Aaron.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. Well, welcome. We're glad you're here.
Thank you for joining us.
I love it. I think it's beautiful.
I wonder what they want. We were talking about the women's right, and I felt that there was a...
That was nice. I saw it too. So
we were conjecturing that that ghost that just appeared might be Anne.
Or behind the, she's the camera operator, Anne Stevens.
Oh.
Because Aaron's over here filming with a second camera, and this one's on lockdown, so we have a little spiritual camera help.
Thank you.
It's really sweet.
It was very sweet of you, and we did need a little adjustment there.
Yeah, on the mic. So, we're a little freaked out, so let's talk about what we do here at Virtual Tarot. At Virtual Tarot, we do a lovely 4-card spread invented by my best friend, Ava.
Well,
she's so smart.
Just, we had to come up with some way to do this in a succinct manner and yet cover a large area of interests and concerns. All right.
And so what we do is this lovely 4-card spread.
And the first card represents the overall environment of the coming month of January.
And the second card represents challenges and things that you might face.
And the third is the unexpected.
And the fourth is the outcome with a little bit of chit-chat, girlfriend talk at the end. We'll kind of wrap the whole thing up. And then you'll sort of understand the story of the cards.
Right. And a lot of people like to watch just to learn a little bit about the cards. So let's do a recap of last month, Scorpio. They had a fabulous reading.
You ready?
Ready.
Last month's recap? Okay, and it opened with strength.
It opened with strength, meaning you were Miss charming. Oh, you were taming every beast around you.
And if you have a Leo in your midst, who Scorpios really work well with Leos because they're both fixed signs, you were just making that kitty cat purr.
Oh, yes.
You were making some shaky leg happen.
Right.
Remember the shaky leg?
Shaky legs. So you rub someone's belly and their limbs shake.
It's a little shaky leg.
Yes, someone was shaking their leg for you.
All month long.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so that was the environment. And then the next card was the Chariot.
The Chariot.
So
Okay.
the challenge position, with the Chariot tells us that your challenge is to like sort of harness your ambition and, kind of, I saw it as really focusing in your ambition in one direction. Or your challenge may have been to get that trip going, because often this is a card of travel.
It's a card of travel
Can
over
be.
long distances too. So
Like European vacation
yeah,
travel.
something like that.
Yeah. So, and then in the...
Or maybe you had vehicle problems.
It could be
too.
right. And then we also, you have Scorpio rising, so you were talking
And I
about
did
your
have,
car.
I had
Some car problems.
yes, and
Yes.
continue to have.
Yes.
So,
So then in the third position we have the Emperor, and governance, government, sort of being in that sort of situation, maybe in an office environment, or perhaps this is your mate, where you're sort of this set of rules is imposed upon you. And I really don't think Scorpio loves rules and regulations, but they can adapt to them
they can
pretty
adapt
well.
to them very well.
Yeah, so that's not so bad.
No, it's not so bad
Yeah.
for you. And then at the end we had the 7 of Wands, was it? Or, no, the 8 of Wands.
We had the 8.
We made that mistake last time too.
That was such a great card to
Oh
end
my
the
God,
year on.
yes. So either the arrows of love were flying in your life, into your heart or into someone else's heart, or there was just a great deal of inspirational energy and communication, and things were on the move.
It's like putting it out there. You're putting it out there. Sometimes it's networking too.
Sometimes it's networking.
Yeah.
yes.
So it was a really good end of the year for you. And I can't wait to see what's going on in January, because I feel like Scorpio's just really had a good year.
Let's see.
That's only getting better. You ready? Let's read. But first we have to announce the last reading, because really it's still 2014. Tomorrow's 2015. Of 2014, I'm going to blow both of them at the same time. Watch.
I go. Oh, Jesus.
Sorry. She puts up with me.
I do.
Here we go.
Ready?
Yay!
Here we go. Oh,
Okay. So we have the 5 of Cups, and this card, I like this card because I think it's so easy to change it, to turn it around. It's the Crying
Easy.
Over Spilled Milk card.
yes, you've had an emotional loss of some sort, perhaps in the previous year. And this is about getting over that.
Yeah, and it's so easy to
And
change.
Scorpio, though, Scorpio is a sign that's a highly emotional sign. And they're deep. And they're loyal.
Yeah.
And they cling to their past.
Sometimes they need to get away and be alone.
Yes,
To
they
sort
do.
of do this thing that's going on in this card, which is like this grieving process.
Right.
But they always sort of return. I think
They
it's
do.
just as
They
long as
do.
you just acknowledge,
Acknowledge all that you have. All the
or
good.
if you have a Scorpio friend, acknowledge their, duress, or
Yes.
is that the right word?
Duress? Yes, it's
Duress, or
sadness.
Yeah, it's like, oh.
Or
Please acknowledge that this is really going on, and then they just turn around and go, oh, it's all right.
all right, it's all right, and it will be, and you'll turn around and see those full cups behind you, and see all that you have, because you're so blessed.
Right. You may not have everything.
No, but it's
you have a
about
lot.
the recognition of your blessings. And so the whole year then, I think, commences with this energy of recognition of your blessings,
Yeah.
seeing what is already there. And so let's see what the challenge
Yeah,
is.
reminds me of that song. Turn around.
This makes sense. card. Oh yes, as your challenge, because it's asking you to die to the old and to bring the new in, and which is what the whole New Year celebration is about. It's about the death of the old and the birth of the new.
Mm-hmm. Well, death is a scary looking card because you see this skeleton riding on a white stallion.
Yes.
Sort of like the Grim Reaper riding through your reading.
That's how they depict also, the coming of the new year is the death.
Yeah, that's true.
Isn't it?
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So,
But really, sometimes when this card shows up, it just means, something has already died, such as a relationship or
an old way of living.
Yeah, or an idea of what would be.
Right.
Like you sort of it has to die.
It has to. You have to let go.
Mm-hmm. Because then when this card comes up, a lot of times we'll tell the story of how we shed ourselves.
Yes.
We actually, the toddler that you were in photos that your mother cherishes is now dead.
Yeah, the person, actually your body dies constantly, and if it weren't for the fact that your cells constantly die and are replaced, you would not exist.
Mm-hmm.
So life is based on death.
It sure is.
And without death, there is no life. Because
So-
there's an exchange process. Life has to constantly freshen itself, and it can't do that on the debris of the old.
Mm-hmm.
That which is decayed and no longer useful to
Right.
you.
So we die every day.
We die every day.
And so do our loved ones. And so if you have an ex-husband who you can't despise or get over, you probably have an old sort of picture in your head of who that guy is, because you look at the old photos, but that guy is dead anyway.
Right. He's no longer there anyway.
He's been replaced by this other middle-aged guy with a paunchy belly and a bald head. So don't
Warn that.
why should you feel bad about that?
Yes.
The other guy's dead. Move
It's
on.
time to move on, is
Right
what it's
on.
saying. And it
Exactly.
is really time to move on. I mean, both of these cards say it's time to move on.
Oh, they both do. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the minor arcana death card.
Yeah, it is. And so let's see.
Let it go.
And so,
Up comes in the position of
challenges. I mean, the unexpected. Pardon me. Yes, the unexpected.
in the position of the unexpected.
So you either have to deal with something on a legal level, that unexpectedly maybe you have a challenge legally.
Mm-hmm.
Even though your challenge is death, it becomes, then a legal issue. And so you are dealing with a legal issue as well.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, unexpectedly also, you have to consider the facts in a situation. What are the true facts of a situation to come up with a fair conclusion, a fair verdict? A verdict. Your ability to come to a decision about something unexpectedly rears its head in the month of January for you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the weighing up of facts in a situation to be ultimately fair to everyone, you and the other person.
Mm-hmm.
What would be fair? What's the most fair conclusion on the situation?
Yeah, it also feels a little bit like trusting your own judgment.
Yeah.
Or asking other people for their opinions because, the unexpected is judgment.
Right.
So, you're not exactly sure because, I'm looking at this death card and it really, your challenge is change, because that's what death is all about, big change. It's done, so you bury it and you move on. It's very final. So that's your challenge. There's something coming up that will challenge you to really not only put the past behind you, but to bury it.
Right.
And you may want to have a ceremony or a ritual around this, because you know, sometimes you really like doing a cutting the cord ritual or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Can be really helpful, because this is a really serious final card.
Right.
And we had the Chariot in this position
Before.
So it's kind of like gathering, you know, like
The momentum.
Right,
in order to
and to do this,
because it has to be done.
And there's a bit of this whole like judgment, like what, you know, like
judge and jury.
Yeah,
You're the judge and jury in something, and or you are being judged, or there is a jury,
or you're judging,
You're
sitting. I mean, we had the Emperor last month.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have this Justice card in the position of the unexpected. So you're kind of like sitting there sort of watching.
Right.
And you're trying to decide if you think this sort of fits in with how you think things should be with the Emperor. And then like, you're not sure, like you haven't like thrown down the final edict yet.
But you know, justice, the entire legal system is actually based on spiritual principles, the laws of love, ultimately, whether they admit it or not. And so you have to adhere or have to become the arbiter of the arbiter of the laws of love.
Yeah, but there's going to be like this whole big change. Like the challenge is this, you know, I mean, we open the month with like, there's crying and tears and like upset.
You're upset.
Or someone around you is upset. So this is like an emotional sort of month. And then the challenge is to like really change and really
an absolute.
Bury.
You have to make that concrete decision to let go of it. And in doing so, suddenly you are...
And I see ceremony with death always. Because to me, death is always about... There's always a wake, there's a funeral, there's a ritual that has to happen.
Yeah, because...
There has to be an acknowledgement. There has to be like, you know, sort of a wake where people bring casserole dishes over.
Right.
And they, you know, they kind of all
and they commune over food.
Yeah, it's
and
really,
they talk about
it's really
deceased.
happened.
Yes.
This really it's like an acknowledgement.
So that, so it grounds it in a certain reality, even in a communal acceptance of the event.
Because there are witnesses.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Ready to move on?
And here we go. Wow. The Five of Swords at the end. So, I see.
Well, I don't think, to me, that there's a resolution at the end. Because to me, you know, and sometimes we kind of see this the same way. We see it a little differently, which is part of the fun.
Yeah.
But to me, this is the card that says you don't see a way out because of the situation at this moment. Only because you will hurt others. And as this, you know, you're sensitive. So I don't know if this 5 really says that you're going to take that Chariot forward quite yet. You haven't quite figured out a way to do that without, you know, because I see this card, without really hurting someone. So anyway.
But, now these are upright. But if by chance, and there's a lot of people out there, some sort of court issue comes where you have to defend your position, your innocence, your truth, because that's really, he's wielding the sword of truth, that you win.
Yes.
Because the 5 wins.
You win at a cost.
You win at a cost. Someone loses.
Yes,
Could be a divorce.
You don't totally win.
No, because it seems like if this isn't a divorce, this is a divorce reading.
Well, you win the battle, but you don't win the war. So
No.
there's caution that goes along with this
Right.
card.
So be cautious.
Be cautious.
Because you may win this particular battle,
Mm-hmm.
but you leave your opponent wounded
And angry.
and angry.
And ready to come back for more.
Right.
So find a way
Find a way to appease.
like mediation.
Right. Mediate.
Yes.
Because you don't want to create an enemy.
Mm-hmm.
You want to win.
Exactly.
But you don't want to do it at the cost of
just snarkiness. Because I always see this as sort of like a smirky, snarky.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
you want to give it to them, let them have it.
Right. Right.
But then in the end, it's kind of like, well, that didn't work out so well, because.
See, because I see the two. This is the Five of Swords. Now the Six of Swords, what happens? Refugees.
Yeah,
So
but even
those two,
Mhm.
I see as then on that ferry leaving, kind of going to more tranquil waters.
Well, I don't see it that
So
way.
I see them often as just, a story being told.
I see this as a caution card always by Spirit.
Oh.
And I always see also see another caution in here, which is this card, your challenge. Because really you have to put this away. You have to put something away.
You do. You
in
have to
order-
finalize something.
Yes. You have
Conclude it.
Yes. You have to actually bury it.
You do. You do. But you win, and that's good. And so, wow.
Wow.
So Scorpio, you're going to have a very interesting January.
Yes,
Full
you
of
are.
a lot of
Challenges.
Challenges and a deep metamorphosis of turning of that caterpillar into a butterfly.
That's
It's not going to
right.
be an easy process for you, but the best thing to do is to spin that chrysalis around you, and to in that sanctuary
Right.
do some real cellular change.
Right,
Let
because
go of the
remember
old.
they opened last month with strength. I think that is the card to hold on to.
Yeah.
This year, or this, month or this year, I guess, open the year with remember the strength card. You catch more flies with honey, and that's a great way to, sort of use that as the stuff that can, the good stuff that can, create that metamorphosis, that butterfly, that judgment, that win-win. I love it.
All right.
Scorpio, you're great. So, that said, can I blow my horns?
Yes, you can blow your horn.
Because it's almost, I'm caught up. 2015.
Yes.
We're waiting for 2015.
Yes.
And so please join us. We have some council cards down below that you will want to know all about going into the next year. They are our global predictions for each sign.
Yes.
Well done by Ava. And also the council card, which a lot of you have already subscribed to.
Oh, thank you for that. We appreciate your subscriptions, and you get a fairly good value for your money, we think, because you get all 12,
Yes, you do.
and you get the previous months as well. So you can kind of check your sign, your sun sign, rising sign, moon sign, and everybody else's sign too.
Yeah, it's a major arcana card, and Ava does a great job.
Spiritual counsel.
Yes. And then for those of you who really want to know everything about what's going on in your life, personally, we have personal readings.
Yes, which are in-depth and really exploratory of your life.
So you walk away with a great feeling.
Yes, and it helps you.
Yes.
So it unravels mysteries about what to do, how to do it, the motivations of people around you you may not quite fathom.
So we just tap into spirit, and it's a beautiful thing.
That's a beautiful thing.
And so, that said, any more announcements?
No.
We really hope that you join us next month. Because next month is February, and it's the month of love, right?
Yes. It's the month of love.
And we're trying to cook up something.
Fabulous for you. Yeah.
So tune in.
All right.
And comment, subscribe. Play us really loud in your cubicle. See you next year.
See you next year. Bye, Scorpio.
tours here.
They do.
And they say there's a lot of
that was
activity.
so.
Oh, you just saw that on camera. Wow.
Yeah.
I kind of saw it too.
Thing.
Well, welcome. We're glad you're here.
Thank you for joining us.
I love it. I think it's beautiful.
I wonder what they want.
Becca's
Maybe they're
enjoying.
just, we were talking about the women's right, maybe it's,
To the corner.
and I felt that there was a,
That was nice. I saw it too. So we have a little spiritual camera help.
thank you.
It's really sweet.
It was very sweet of you, and
Yes.
we did need a little adjustment.
Yeah,
So.
on the mic. So, we're a little freaked out. So